Well, hello, all of you beautiful people who have come back to watch me do another Feelin' Fine Friday video. On Fridays, we talk about stuff and things and life and stuff. Talk about things that interest me and that I just want to share with you guys. Sometimes it's like a video diary thing where it's therapeutic and we're getting something off of our chest. Or it's just things that we like, that we enjoy, that make us feel happy and lovey and blah, blah, blah. If this is your first time, I welcome you. If this isn't your first time, then you can ignore all that because you already know who I am. And just, girl, welcome back. Thank you. Before we get into today's Feelin' Fine Friday, the Feelin' Fine Friday, because that's how you say words, I just wanted to give you a big old reminder to hit that subscribe button and that bell if you like what you see, because I do this every single gosh darn Friday. Hit the like button if you want to see more Feelin' Fine Fridays, and I will also link my playlist at the end of the video, as well as last week's Feelin' Fine Friday, which is up here. Last week, we had like a little bit of a Valentine's Day theme where I talked about my favorite lovey-dovey stuff to watch. So, let's get into today's video. So I actually was going to do something a little different for today's video, but then we had a big snowstorm and people didn't go to work and stuff didn't happen. But anyway, but something that I've been thinking about and thought I might do a video about, but wasn't 100% sure. It's not necessarily feeling fine, but I enjoyed it. I find it entertaining. But yeah, if you watch my first video, the first video I've ever posted, I talk about being super interested in true crime. I am going to be talking about the Netflix crime docu-series, The Night Stalker. All about, well, it's about the Night Stalker. I wanted to talk about this because I watched it and I really enjoyed it. And I thought it was a very, I don't want to say unique look, because it's not necessarily revolutionary. It's a crime docuseries. If you like those, you'll like this one. But I thought it was rather interesting, mainly because they take a lot of stuff from the perspectives of the detectives that were on the Night Stalker case. And the reason I find that to be pretty cool is because, especially for a lot of these really big, infamous killers, you don't really hear a lot about what it was like trying to hunt them down or chase them from the detectives that were essentially in charge of getting these criminals arrested. And what they were struggling with during this. They delve really deep into even the personal lives of the detectives that were hunting Richard Ramirez, including talking to the one detective's wife. Not only did I enjoy that aspect of it because it was a little bit different, but I also enjoyed, I guess I shouldn't say enjoyed, but one thing that I thought was really cool was that this show taught me something. I didn't necessarily think I was going to walk away from a Netflix documentary about a serial killer that I've heard about 15 times and learn anything, or learn a ton, but I kind of did, because I feel like Netflix covered things that weren't really all that well known. All that I really ever remember hearing about him was that he was the Night Stalker. He would come into your home and then just ruthlessly murder people. He was just this scary boogeyman who ransacked homes and killed the people there when he did it. Yeah, he sometimes ransacked the homes, but it wasn't just that. It wasn't, oh, I got caught stealing and now I have to kill you because no witnesses. It was, a lot more violent and terrifying than that. First of all, because he had a wide array of victims. He didn't just kill one particular type of person, and in fact, he didn't always kill, period. I don't know. It's really scary to think that there's somebody out there in this world that is just willing to attack anybody at any point in time. He even went after children, and he had a different MO, basically, depending on who was there at the time. For example, if he broke into the home of a single woman living alone, he would generally assault them. And sometimes he would kill them, sometimes he would leave them alive. Like, I didn't realize how random his killings were until I watched this documentary. And it's scary. Another thing that this documentary really honed in on. Words are hard for me tonight. This is my first glass of wine. Hand to the Lord. Another part of the documentary that I really liked is that they honed in on a lot of the evidence that kind of ended up getting Richard Ramirez caught. For example, his shoes. They had so many footprints from his shoes. So many. And his shoes were not a common type of shoe. They did find out that there was actually only one pair sold in California. The entire state of California. There was only one pair of these types of shoes. But they couldn't trace to who bought them. So that kind of led nowhere. But still, it was like, how many times are you going to leave your shoe print, bruh, before you realize, like, maybe you should start changing up your shoes? You know? I'm not encouraging people to go out and commit crimes, but, like, Richard Ramirez wasn't really smart about it. And he got lucky a lot, which we'll get there, but he got very lucky a lot. The shoe was a pretty important part of the investigation. I had heard that the shoe prints were a thing, mainly because one of the victims, he actually stomped her head in and did it so hard he left a perfect shoe print on her face. This was a pretty big key piece of evidence that was found at a lot of different crime scenes and was actually part of what kind of connected the dots for investigators as to this being one guy. Another key piece of evidence was the gun that Richard would use a lot. I didn't realize he used a gun. But he used all different kinds of weapons. At one point I believe he had used a machete. The gun was a big part of another reason why he got caught. And even when he tried to change up those things, he still ended up getting caught anyway. So what does it even matter? Yeah, those couple of things got him caught, not to mention the composite sketches that they had from literally any of the victims that lived. He would have gotten caught so much sooner if it wasn't for the universe sometimes giving bad people really dumb luck. Because there were so many times where Richard Ramirez got a bunch of dumb luck and should have gotten caught, but he didn't because people be dumb. The first instance of pure dumb luck that he gets is one of the cars that he stole was found by police, right? In a different county than the police that the docuseries kind of surrounds, right? Different police. Okay, so just keep that in mind. The detectives we're watching talk about this are like, yes, we have a car, we can fingerprint it. So we ask them to hold the car for us and fingerprint it for us. Okay, so they never hear back from this other county, this other jurisdiction's police department. They never hear back from them about this car and the prints on it. And they call them and they're like, hey, we need this car printed. And they're like, well, you can come print it then. And so they're like, fine. They find that the car has just been sitting in the sun baking for weeks. So any prints that would have been on it are gone. Who dropped that ball? Okay, you all need to learn how to catch your balls, because you're dropping a lot of them. So then they look in the car, and they find a card for a dentist's office. And they're like, oh my God, he's going to this dentist's office. So they go to the dentist's office, and they're like, hey, this guy, did he come in? A guy that looks like this. And they're like, yeah, that's Richard. He came in. Here's his x-rays. I don't know why they could do that. I would just think you can't be going around giving people's dental x-rays to people who just come into your dentist office claiming to be police officers, but whatever. But the one detective gets a copy of Richard Ramirez's x-rays. And he takes them to a friend of his who's a dentist. And that dentist is like, yeah, this guy's going to be in a lot of pain because he has like a tooth that's rotting out of his face. That's another thing I didn't know about Richard Ramirez. He had horrible teeth. Like, horrible, horrible teeth. The dentist friend of the detective is like, yeah, he's going to go back because that tooth is rotting. So it's probably given him a tough time. And so the cops are like, sweet. So they go back to the dentist's office and they're like, okay, listen, you need to let us know if this guy comes in. So they go back to the police officers that like didn't print the car for them like they said they were going to. Yeah, they go back to those same guys. They're like, hey, can you install an alarm system at this dentist's office so that this dentist can ring us when this Richard guy, because they didn't know what his full name was, they're like, so that we can, they can ring us when Richard comes back. Other police officers that we don't really care about, the not main detectives, they're like, yeah. So they go to the dentist's office and they install an alarm. And then the one detective is like, yeah, I was just hanging out, chilling, doing my thing, doing what I do. And then I get a call from the dentist's office and he's like, why didn't you come? Apparently, Richard had gone into that dentist's office and the dentist was like ringing the alarm like, hey, the police officers. The alarm malfunctioned. How ridiculous is that? What dumb luck is that? Eventually, the detectives figure out who he is. They get a fingerprint. They're able to compare it to a fingerprint they found at a crime scene. They run it. They get a match. They figure out what his full name is. All that jazz. They release his photo to the media. So his picture is on every newspaper. He gets recognized in a not good neighborhood. Tries to carjack somebody, and the entire block, the entire neighborhood comes out and is like, no, sorry, my guy. No. And then he even gets beat over the head by one guy with a metal pipe. He ended up getting caught because an entire neighborhood recognized him from his mugshot and was like, oh my God, that's the Night Stalker. And the police show up and they're like, what's going on? And they're like, that's the Night Stalker. And the police officer's like, okay, well, we gotta arrest you, bud. Something I didn't know until I actually watched another crime documentary. That's right, I'm on it with the crime documentaries this week. But one thing I didn't know was that Richard Ramirez actually stayed at the Cecil Hotel, which was a hotbed of illegal activity. And the crime scene for another infamous crime, which was the death of Elisa Lam. But yeah, Richard Ramirez was actually known to stay at the Cecil Hotel, which from time to time, which apparently it wasn't uncommon for serial killers to stay there every now and again. So I found that to be very interesting. Feel free to comment down below and let me know if you want me to talk about the vanishing at the Cecil Hotel. I found that one to be very fascinating. It's very a la Don't F with Cats, if you've seen that Netflix crime docuseries. But anyway, just let me know if you want me to talk about that one, and I will do that on another Feelin' Fine Friday. I don't know if I'll do that in the next Feelin' Fine Friday, but I can talk about it if you want me to. The main reason why I wanted to talk about this is because I just found it interesting that either I did not know as much about the Night Stalker as I thought I did, and this documentary taught me some things, or the documentaries that are out on the Night Stalker just don't tell it to you the way this one did, and so I felt like I learned something, which I don't know. I find it weirdly fascinating, right? Because obviously, true crime is a very niche market. Not everybody digs the true crime. It's heavy stuff. I find true crime fascinating. So, if you don't find true crime fascinating, you probably won't like this episode of Feelin' Fine Friday, and that's okay. Let me know down in the comments below if you want me to talk about the crime scene, the vanishing at the Cecil Hotel docu-series on Netflix. I did find that one fascinating, and I have a lot more opinions on that one than just like straight, I liked it. Here's things that I took away from it. But if you would like to see that, let me know down in the comments below. If you liked the idea of me talking about true crime, give this a thumbs up, because maybe I'll talk about it even more. So yeah, give this a thumbs up. Subscribe once again. If you like what you see, I will link my last week's Feelin' Fine Friday. Words. I'll link that right up there, and the entire playlist will be linked in the description and at the end of the video, so you can just go watch through all of them if you would like. But thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate you. I appreciate your face. I appreciate the faces of those that you love and who love you. And I hope you have a great and wonderful rest of your Friday/weekend until I see you when I upload again. Bye!